Hello, welcome back to Web3 DJs. I'm really excited to introduce our guest today. He's the Executive Vice President of BPI Sports, founder of MetaPumps with Mr. Cutler. He's a fellow V friend. He's also got some stuff that we don't have, like the moonbirds. But from what I've gathered, since I've kind of met you through Twitter at VCon, is you are a serious collector. It doesn't matter what you're collecting it. So everybody, this is Mr. Whitney Reid. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you guys for letting me come on and join you guys today. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so you're in sunny South Florida. It looks like a beautiful place to be. Is that where your home base is?
Yeah, I've been in South Florida for about 10 years now. I was raised in Richmond, Virginia. Came down here for BPI. Little history about the BPI business and what brought me down here. Couple of guys started the brand back in 2011, somewhere around there. I actually came on as the very first outside sales rep. So
nice.
in the very beginning days. And, we were a kind of an underground hardcore brand and had recently got into the vitamin shop nationwide. And the ownership here wanted to expand, and we had gotten into GNC. And I traveled the entire country visiting every GNC and vitamin shop and mom and pop store. And it was a really cool experience, man. It wasn't something that I expected. It was, like I said, it was just a bunch of guys that a couple of guys like to work out, enjoy talking about supplements, and never would have imagined that, fast forward 10, 11 years, that we would be nationwide in Walmart, in over 100 countries, doing business with Walgreens, CVS, all of the major players here domestically. And I've been able to really do some really cool things, travel the world, sit in massive meetings. I'm not a business guy. I was never, I wasn't formally trained in business. So me and my buddy Chris, we just took a shot and, headed up to Walmart many years ago and pitched in front of, the big wigs there and didn't even barely know how to put together a presentation deck. And, but they appreciated the authenticity. And, it's been a crazy ride, and we've got to do some really cool things along the way.
Yeah, there's that's no joke to build a company like that. You're talking about sales. I'm in sales also. I'm in a hotel room right now because I'm traveling for sales. So you know how that is. But to take a company from that small and to scale it to that big, there's a lot of steps in between. But what I'm curious about is how did you go from that and then now into the NFT space? And like I know MetaPumps hasn't launched yet, but I've seen you since I've been in, and I've been in since March of last year. So you've been there since the very beginning of it. So how did you get into the NFT space and Web3?
Man, so it's an interesting story. I was early into crypto back in, I guess, 2016. And but before that, going way before that, back in the 80s, I started collecting baseball cards, like a lot of the guys my age. And of course, it was all, for the most part, junk. But I fell in love with collecting back then. And I remember back in '89 when I pulled a Ken Griffey Jr. out of the Upper Deck pack, and I remember buying that pack and thinking, wow, I can't believe I'm spending $6 on a pack of baseball cards. And I instantly became hooked, and I never really stopped collecting cards. And that was one thing that really, was an advantage of mine, specifically during COVID, because of the massive spike in the value of these cards. And I collected along the way and bought all the rookies and got into basketball and football. And then COVID hit, and I started selling off a lot of my collection because I was able to take some profits off the table, right? And then while I was selling cards, a friend of mine said, "Hey, you got to check out. You're into crypto. There's this thing called NBA Top Shot. It's digital collectibles. You're into collectibles. You got to take a look at it." And at first, I was just like, "This is a joke. I'm not interested in this. I want to hold the card in my hand. I don't want a digital collectible." And but it caught my attention. And even before that, I'd kind of been in the Gary V network And back in 2017, my wife and I actually had the opportunity to go meet Gary and go up to his office in New York. She's an influencer, so she was invited up there, and I tagged along, and got to meet the team and listen to him talk about collecting and investing. And
What's up, buddy?
Yeah, who do you have with you here?
Yeah,
I got my 4-year-old. He is always with me. He loves veefriends as well. He loves collecting. He knows about the bored apes. He knows about the moonbirds.
that's
So
awesome.
he started young, and but ever since meeting Gary and his team, I kept a really close eye on everything that he did. And then obviously he launched veefriends, and I was in. So like, I got in. I didn't actually get in at Mint. I waited for to condense the story. I didn't get it at Mint because I was a total sucker.
Join the club.
Of whatever. I actually had several 86 Jordan Fleer cards, and I said, because there were those two $800,000 sales of the 10s. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to get a 9.5. It might be my last chance. It's the only time I've ever FOMO'd on anything. And I invested a ton of money in a BGS 9.5. And unfortunately, the market crashed like right after I bought that card. So I didn't get it. I was kind of scorned at that time, and I didn't want to spend any more money. But I had a decent amount of Ethereum built up, so I waited a little while, and then I jumped in. And then, man, after that, I just fell in love with NFTs even more so than sports cards. And Jay Cutler, being a close friend of mine, we talk on a daily basis. I actually talked to him about cards. And I helped Jay, invest in some cards. He was interested, specifically Kevin Durant Chrome refractor rookie. And after that, he saw that I was, posting about some NFTs and talking about NFTs. He was like, "Hey, what is this all about?" And he said, "Hey, I want to do a collection." And wow. I thought about it for a really long time. And it was like, we could, create some characters, sell some characters, one and done, because Jay has some very loyal fans. That's what's interesting about the bodybuilding market, that there would be people that aren't in the Discord, that don't follow me on Twitter on MetaPumps, or even get involved in the community, that would just buy it because it's Jay Cutler, right? They just will buy anything that Jay puts his name on. Yeah. And I didn't want to just launch that to where it's just a one and done type thing. Like, oh, wow, you own a Jay Cutler NFT. I wanted to do something meaningful and long lasting. And I really thought, hey, I love what Gary did with this access to Gary and his world. Why don't we do something similar, with you, and have the connection to you? And so we put this together. We came up with different levels of access to Jay. So if you do mint one of the rare characters, you will have some level of access to Jay, whether it's training in person, go to the Mr Olympia 2022 in Vegas, Zoom calls, Instagram lives. And the way I describe it is like this: like, if you're a personal trainer, or if you want to break through in the fitness industry, what better way is to go online on IG with Jay in front of his 3 million plus followers on Instagram and talk about your brand and okay, hold on, I'm gonna call. Sorry about it.
All good. It's all good. Like I said, a bunch of guys hanging out, having a good time. So this, fits right with
and
our
Jay's,
kind of
Jay's so Jay's totally on board. He loves it. And then I wanted to expand on that. So as I started talking about the Mr. Olympia and bringing people, that meant to the Olympia, the president of the Mr. Olympia, Dan Solomon, who's a very good friend of mine, I've known for many, many years, said, "Hey, I want to be on board with this. I want to partner with you. I want to, provide value to the holders." And he's new to this, so I kind of explained how NFTs worked and what the goal was with this project, and he's all in as well. So that brought access to many other athletes and other utility to this thing. So, we've been in this bear market for however many months now. So we didn't mint, but it gave me the opportunity to connect with other athletes and to add more utility to this project. To when we do mint, it's really going to provide a lot of value to the holders. So we're very excited for this. There's a lot to be done. Even though I've been in the NFT market for quite some time now, I didn't realize how massive of a task it would be to bring fitness enthusiasts to NFT world. And it's been difficult. It's been quite the challenge. Even with Jay's enormous following, it's been a struggle to get people to understand what NFTs are. Hell, I would say the majority of, people that go to the Mr. Olympia don't even know what a digital wallet is. So there's this huge learning curve as far as the education. But I think once we get past that and being early in the fitness world, we're going to have something extremely special here.
Yeah, I agree. And I kind of mentioned to you earlier that one of the things that fires me up the most about this project is, sure, obviously people want their wallets to grow and that sort of thing, but you guys are able to transcend this kind of like the buck stops here online. You guys are creating a culture and a community where people can hold each other accountable. They can ask for tips. I shared with you earlier, you've helped me with not only like a bench press routine, something to help me get my bench up, but you've also provided me recipes. I've bounced ideas of like prominent fitness individuals off of you and gotten your take. And all this has been done just because I joined the Discord. I mean, these are things that like, I would probably have to pay a personal trainer hundreds of dollars just to kind of get their feedback on, right? I even have some buddies who are personal trainers or have friends that are personal trainers, and we've connected and I start asking them questions. And then, sometimes it comes to like, well, hey man, we're off the clock, right? And so I do want to ask you a little bit more about like what does this project mean for just maybe somebody who is like, I'm not an influencer in terms of exercising and fitness and that sort of thing, but I do make it a pivotal portion of my life. Like, what does this project mean for someone like me who just likes fitness, is health conscious, if you will?
Sure. So if you take a look at my Twitter or the MetaPump Twitter over the past couple of weeks, I started posting daily workouts. So that's one thing that I want to be very consistent with. Usually 5 days out of the week I'll post a workout plan. And one thing that I've always said is, as far as fitness goes, this information is out there. There's a lot of bad information out there too, but I want to provide free workout fitness information for anyone, any level that wants to get into health and fitness, right? Yeah. So that's one thing that this project really is focusing on, is providing free guidance for anyone that's interested in getting to the gym. I don't, personally, I've never charged anyone for a routine. I'm sure there's a lot of fitness professionals out there that would be upset for me for giving out free information like that bench press routine that I sent out to the Discord. But, I think that should be shared. I think all of that should be shared. Our value is going to really be the access to elite individuals like Jay, like other competitors that we haven't announced yet, the guys like professional wrestlers such as Billy Gunn and others. That's what we're really providing this like extra value with. But the goal here is to bring anyone that's interested in fitness and also somewhat interested in the NFTs into our community.
Beautiful. Are you just I know Hofstra's got a question, but I got to ask, are you the one that's posting these workouts, like you specifically?
Yes.
So we know
Yes.
this is some good stuff here. Very nice. What'd you have, Hofstra?
No, I was just gonna say I like to hear when you're saying I didn't realize how difficult it would be, because it's something I've never been involved in, starting a project. We've talked to lots of people that have projects, and usually the projects are already launched. So can you talk a little bit, because when I first, it seemed like you guys had a lot of steam, and then I didn't know if it was that maybe the market had slowed down in general and maybe you were thinking about launching at a different time, or if you're really taking your time to build this. And you're still very active online. You're still very active in the Discord. So I thought maybe it was build a lot of value up front, and then when the time was right, launch. But what are some of the struggles that you guys are having? And maybe just speak to that a little bit.
Sure. So when I originally started this building this project, it's been several months. I mean, it's almost been a year now. And I had a couple of hiccups along the way. And anybody that's, you know, watching this that is thinking, keep this in mind. There are a lot of people out there that that don't have your best interest at heart. They say they can help you build a Web3 project. So when I created this, I had an awesome 3D designer. Go inside, Bubba. Go get you some water, okay? Hold on, baby. Let me talk here. And I had this.
Are you calling me? Should I give you water?
Yes, go get some water. Sorry. Go get some
No, it
water.
is all good, like I said.
So I started back in December of last year, had this amazing 3D designer that created all of my characters, top-notch guy. He's down in Colombia. But he didn't know much about actually launching a collection. And I was surfing around and I found a guy that referred me to another, you know, agency, right? And they pitched me this crazy idea of what all they were going to do. They were going to handle all the marketing, the social media, building out the metaverse, everything. And, you know, the one thing I don't have a lot of is time. So I said, wow, if they can do all of this, I'll happily pay them to create this thing for me. And I can, you know, provide the value and I can be behind the scenes and connect all of the dots. And it was about 4 months. And to be totally honest with you, it was 4 months of me just giving them their money and they didn't do anything. And it was tough. It was really a tough pill to swallow. It was a hard lesson learned. I spent a lot of money to launch this thing, or thought I was launching it, to really go nowhere. So after several months of not going the direction that I wanted it to go, I kind of took a step back. I said, all right, you know what? I'm going to handle the Twitter. I'm going to handle all aspects of this. I'm going to look I have an in-house engineer, which built my smart contract, and he's a great guy. I have a web designer. I know people that can create what I want to do in the metaverse. I'm just going to do it all exactly how I want. And it's going to take a little bit more time, but that's okay. I'm not rushing this. I didn't want this to be a rush just to catch that huge, spike in the NFT market and try to capitalize on that. That's not what this is about at all. This is about creating a fitness platform for Web3. And I describe it like this. A good friend of mine is a guy by the name of Ryan DeLuca, who founded bodybuilding.com. Ryan sold bodybuilding.com back in 2016, I think, for hundreds of millions of dollars. And I've known Ryan and his brother Jeremy for many, many years. I actually filmed 2010, I believe, or 2009, and close ever since. And when you go back to the beginning days of web marketing, you know, websites and fitness, at least sports nutrition products, didn't really have a place in the very beginning of web marketing. People were still spending money on Flex Magazine, muscular development, men's fitness, men's health. That's where all the ad dollars went. And guys like Ryan DeLuca came to us at BPI and said, hey, instead of spending $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 a month on magazine ads, bring that money over to bodybuilding.com, because this is where the traffic is going to be. We're giving away all of these great, workouts, the videos, all the content's here, the traffic's here. And, it was difficult. Like, how can you transition from going from spending so much money on magazine ads to this make-believe world of digital marketing? And it took most supplement companies quite some time to realize that the shoppers were now online. They weren't buying magazines anymore. That's why fitness magazines kind of lasted a lot longer than other magazines. Once we pulled out of magazine ads and we started transitioning to digital marketing, our entire business changed. And you look at guys like Ryan from bodybuilding.com, even if you were to Google my name up until some point, probably not anymore, but when bodybuilding was strong, maybe the first 3 articles that pulled up were bodybuilding.com articles. And I look at, all right, Web3, we don't know exactly what it's going to be. We don't know what it's going to look like or the direction it's going to go. But I know if I'm here early and if I am branding alongside of names like Jay Cutler, the Mr. Olympia, and other very well-known fitness enthusiast celebrities, I'm going to be there early, like bodybuilding was. And when people start moving, transitioning to Web3 in the metaverse, my name will pop up like bodybuilding.com did in Web2.
Man, I love that. I love that. That was the whole reason I got into this space. I was telling someone the other day, like the first time that I connected my wallet and it worked where I could mint something blew my mind. I was like, wait a second, like I saw the future. Like we're just going to press a button, it's going to know who we are. And then I had so many of these aha moments. And the whole key to this is being new. And I guess we don't, to some extent, know how new we are because the technology is not even functional yet to do what the thing should do or could do in the future. But the fact that you're here, and that's even cool hearing, like, man, the amount of money I've spent on consultants that didn't do shit, or people that have these stacked resumes that come on in 6 months, I find out like you actually don't know what you're doing. You cost me like a few $100,000 in mistakes I got to fix. And I love the honest, authentic take. Like that's what happens sometimes. A guy like me, I could just imagine coming in trying to figure out Web3. I'm going to have to do the same thing. I'm going to have to find people that know what they're doing. And sometimes you got to go through a lot of people just to get what it is. But I'll tell you what, you're going to learn something. And by the time you do start, you know, you're going to have it dialed in. So I love that you guys are sticking with it throughout the plan. Because right now, if you're building, you know, you're going to be picking up steam. Because we've seen this. A lot of people have left the space. A lot of people, It's not crazy like it was, but the people that are here watching the innovation, watching the creativity, you know what I mean? There's going to be another wave, and it sounds like you guys are positioning yourself to hit that, or at least be around so that you can hit that when it does come.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, this is not a thing that is just trying to catch an NFT explosion. This is a legit business that's, you know, in my eyes, it's going to be around forever. And, you know, I had this great talk with Ryan DeLuca again to bring his name back up. He invested after he retired from bodybuilding.com, sold the business. He was retired for like 6 months, right? He's like, I can't be retired. I'm, you know, in my 40s. You know, I love fitness. I love innovation. I love technology. And he created this really cool virtual trainer called Black Box VR. And right now he is in, I think he's live in like 30 some locations in a gym chain called EOS. We actually have them down here in South Florida. They have them in Arizona, Colorado, I think, Boise, in Idaho, where his home base is. And you put the VR glasses on, you have a virtual trainer. If you want to sign up for this, it's like an add-on to your gym membership, and you get a hell of a workout. It's a machine, kind of like a tonal type thing. And we had discussed like, hey, how can we take MetaPump and what you're doing with the NFT world and give you access to this virtual training world? And that's kind of where my Metaverse gym is going to come into play. And you're going to have guys like Cutler and many others become, and this is just kind of a render of what I want this thing to look like. There's a lot of changes have been made since, but you're going to have access to Jay in seminars, training sessions, whatever it is in this virtual world. Now, this is what can provide you dollar value to your wallet, to your web wallet. There's only going to be 9,600 of these. I know that sounds like a lot, but when Jay has millions of followers all over the world, and all of the other athletes have millions of followers all over the world, we're not going to add any more access to this virtual gym. You know how popular Jay is specifically. It's totally different than it is here domestically. I mean, Jay has a massive following here, but if we go to the Middle East, for instance, it's like walking on the street with Tom Brady. You can't go into stores. Yeah. I mean, bodybuilding is totally different in other parts of the world. And let's say right now you were to mint. Let's say we were to mint tomorrow, and The mint price is going to be somewhere around $120 USD, whatever ETH is at that point. And let's say you do land an ultra rare and you're one of the few people that do get this training session with Jay, and you don't really care to train with Jay. You think it's cool, but it's not something necessarily you want to do. You could put that on, you can have that listed on OpenSea, and don't hold me to this, but there are guys that would pay $10,000 and $20,000 here and have a weekend with Jay Cutler. I know that sounds weird, but it happens all the time. You get some of these guys that have plenty of cash, love bodybuilding, want to have that experience, and you can easily make a lot of money really quick. That's not the goal here, but you could easily make a lot of money really quick to have that access to Jay, to Mike, and to others that are going to be involved in this.
Yeah, personally, I would spend $10,000 to $20,000 to figure out the difference between why this man looks like this and why I look the way that I do. There's no question about that. I can definitely see that. I do have to ask though. You brought up a really interesting point that bodybuilding and bodybuilding is much different in terms of the fame and the presence that it carries overseas than it is here in the United States. And earlier you were kind of referencing how the opportunities that you're finding in trying to get people who are in the bodybuilding community to come over to MetaPumps and get involved there. Have you kind of seen that same thing, that a lot of individuals who are participating in MetaPumps are not domestic to the United States, like they are from overseas?
Not yet. I mean, at the moment, I would say the majority of the people that are active in the Discord on Twitter are here based in the US. We are actually flying to Dubai in October, and I have a small activation set up in Dubai at the Dubai Muscle. It's actually the Dubai Muscle Classic, I think is the name. It's the largest expo in the Middle East, and it's very similar to what we have here at the Arnold Classic. And I have 100,000 people that come to the expo. I'm going to be there with India, my wife, and with Mike O'Hearn and his wife as well. I have a very large distributor there. We're going to be promoting, there it is, Dubai Muscle Show. We're going to be MetaPump there.
Very cool. He may have broken up for just a second.
Glitched out for a little bit. Dude, that's crazy. I didn't even realize. But I mean, I've heard that. It makes sense that you'd have bodybuilding be that big in a different country. But could you imagine?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. So there's a show on YouTube, or a movie on YouTube that I watched. I think it was called Generation Iron, something like that, and it highlighted a bit of that. I don't know if you've seen it, but from there, I went down this rabbit hole of like. Well,
I wonder if he knows if he's frozen or not. We should take a screenshot and make a meme.
That would be funny. Let me go ahead and.
Oh, he's up. He's up.
Well, I just clicked him off and on to see if maybe you come back. Yeah, I mean, otherwise, I just got a couple quick questions for him whenever he does come back. Assuming that we're able to recover. I think he might just join back in. He left on his own accord now. It is really cool, though. I can definitely see, like you said, people paying a lot of money to be able to get this exposure to both Jay Cutler, Mike O'Hearn. And yeah, I can definitely echo his sentiment, because like I was mentioning earlier in the show, I'm involved in their Discord. It's something that I've taken a personal interest in. I mean, for $120, it seems kind of like a no-brainer to me to go ahead and invest in this. Like you're investing in yourself.
JJ Hot Wheels is like, what the hell is going on, guys? Look at him. Thanks for sticking around, though. We were just getting going.
Oh yeah, for sure. He was
Whitney
bringing
was
up
on
some
a
great
roll.
points. But yeah, like I said, I can definitely vouch for him from that perspective. They launched this thing the other day where you could go train with Mike O'Hearn. It's got to be up here on their MetaPumps thing, and it's in Arkansas. And I'm like, well, of course I don't live in Arkansas anymore. September 17th. Hofstra, if you're trying to road trip, we can go out here and if this happens.
I think just listening to him talk about starting this business. Oh, hey, there you are.
Hey, I'm here. Sorry about that.
Screenshot it. We had a really good picture of you, like frozen.
We're gonna be blasting it in the MetaPumps Discord after this with a meme.
Awesome.
Competition.
Yeah,
please do. Please do.
Meme contest.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hey, I saw you mention, or I could hear you mention just there at the very end, the event with Mike. So we are launching we actually had to change the date of this last week, so I need to update this tomorrow. But we are launching 4 new products nationwide at Walmart of the Mike O'Hearn series. So we are going to do a really cool seminar in Arkansas. Bentonville is where Walmart's headquarters is located.
That's where I
I've
live.
been there.
I'm just like, so just a little bit off. I used to I literally just moved from Bentonville to Dallas. So,
No way.
yeah, I just
Oh,
missed
well,
it.
you got to
That's
get
like
back home.
Walmart town, man.
Yeah, that's Bentonville is nothing but Walmart, as you guys know. So we're going to do a really cool seminar. We've got Heath Evans, who played in the NFL, played for the Patriots. He was a great fullback in the league, played for the Saints. He's going to be there talking about his experiences in the NFL. We've got Clark Bartram, who you guys are probably way too young to know, but Clark is one of the original fitness guys in our industry. Clark's 58. If you look up his name, he's phenomenal shape. He does amazing tricks. Like, I don't know how he does it. I think it's all green screen. But he does these amazing tricks, like throwing footballs into trash cans from like 50 yards. But Clark was, do you guys remember the brand EAS?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Really started the whole explosion back in the day. There's Clark. And
The EAS is still a brand. I think I still buy their stuff. Like the creatine?
No, they're still a brand, but back in the day, EAS was so big. It was, I don't even know what to compare it to. There's really not even anything else to compare it to how big it was back in the 90s. And Bill Phillips was the founder, and Clark was the very first spokesperson for EAS supplements back in the day. So there was this really cool billboard that was up everywhere back in the 90s where Clark would start. It was like three pieces of a guy that was like out of shape, and then he was like walking like a caveman, and all of a sudden became like super ripped. So anybody that's like 40 years old or over will remember that. But that was Clark that was in that. And then he went on to have a great fitness show on ESPN. And he was on, I think, 4 or 5 days a week, training people on ESPN. He's just a wealth of knowledge. If you guys, give him a follow, he's got his TikTok, believe it or not, people say that TikTok skews extremely young, right? Well, we've seen this transition of where TikTok's turning into something for, that's starting to age up a little bit. And he's got a massive, I think he's got like 700,000 followers on TikTok because he provides really good information on there for anybody that's interested in fitness. So you guys give him a follow. It's really good content, but he'll be with us. And we're going to do a train with Mike seminar, a little bit of everything. So we're looking forward to that.
Very nice. Yeah, and speaking of kind of like launching a new product and that sort of thing, one of the questions that I wanted to bring up to you, if we go ahead and follow this paper trail here, is here we are on your profile, Whitney.
Yep.
I see here you got women in weapons, all the different hashtags that you're a part of, women in weapons, and then of course, like you mentioned earlier, the EVP of BPI Sports. So if we follow our breadcrumbs here, go to BPI Sports. And I pulled up your website. You guys launched this product that, and forgive me if this is not the case, but it seems like it's related to women and weapons. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about that, about incorporating, your Web3, leveraging your IP, something that people always talk about, into, a business?
Yep. So I think, and what's up? I think that we were the first. I know we're the first supplement brand, but possibly the first consumer goods packaged product that actually did something like this.
Yeah.
And this is one of the cures that I own. And when Sarah released the IP rights to the holders, she ran a contest. She was like, "We want to see what you guys can do with, with the characters, with the artwork. I want to make a pre-workout. Let's do this." So we created that. Like we actually had another pre-workout that. Hold on, buddy. We actually had a pre-workout that we were working on at the time. Took the artwork, made the label, did a really cool thing with the QR code on every bottle that shows you which number bottle that you that you purchase. We're doing a limited run. We did it in bottles. So you own this like kind of piece of history. You know what bottle it was when it came off the product line, off the production line, and it's been very successful so far. That was kind of my first test to see how we can really connect the dots between fitness, supplements, and Web3, and it was a lot of fun to do that.
Did you guys sell out on that, or like?
We didn't sell out. We sold. We actually sold the first run out. I can't remember how many we did on the first run, but it sold out pretty quick on the first run. But then we made more just to continue the flow. And it's just like anything with supplements, you get something that's hot, for a second, people buy it. But that was another thing that really taught me that there is a lot of there's this huge learning curve from Web3 and fitness and combining the two. So it was a cool experiment. We had a lot of fun doing it, and we're going to continue to expand. So we do have some other cool things that I can't mention the names, but there are other projects that we are going to launch that have some really big names behind it as far as in the Web3 space. So that's going to be the real test there. I'll give you a little hint. We are launching a canned energy drink based off of our pre-workout 1MR. The formula is insane. It's a lower caffeine drink, I think 250 megs on caffeine, but there's a fully dosed teacrine and dynamine in the product. And I don't know if you've ever tried those ingredients, but it's just like drinking something that has, it's like an Adderall feel. You're going to get laser focused on this. And there's a massive Web3 brand that we are going to be introducing on the RTD.
That's awesome. Well, the cool thing about this space is you can do whatever you want, right? Like It is one big experiment. And so how you market, like your analogy, you're talking about how magazines went, to online. Web3 that's kind of what they're projecting is it's this newer form of internet or blockchain incorporated internet. And it'll be interesting to see how you guys build that into your brand and who you partner with and all that fun stuff. We're kind of coming at time now. I don't know, Sticky, I know you had a couple other questions, but did you want to ask a couple of things before we close?
Yeah, just real quickly, and I'll just kind of combine two into one. You mentioned it a little bit earlier about kind of the opportunities that you're facing with your project, but I would love to know, number one, where exactly is MetaPumps at right now? Do we have any expected mint dates, so on and so forth? Just like what's the current status of the project? And then two, again, like we mentioned previously, we know that you are the EVP of BPI Sports. You're the founder of MetaPumps, a really good friend with Jay Cutler. Can you just kind of help us identify the connection, understand the connection between the three of these? You've already, yeah, exactly. That would be fantastic.
No, I got you. So I'm actually going to meet with Dan from the Mr. Olympia next week, and we're going to discuss a mint date. So next week I can probably post that on Twitter what the date's going to be, because the goal is to mint before the Mr. Olympia, which is the weekend before Christmas in Vegas, because I want to have several holders have access to VIP access to the Mr. Olympia. So that's one of the utilities that are going to be involved in this. You're going to get VIP access. You're going to be able to go backstage. You're going to be able to meet all the athletes, all that good stuff. So I want to have that available. I don't want to miss that opportunity. And then the connection between all three. Jay and I were actually friends before I was at BPI. And then after I came on board in the very beginning days, we brought Jay on as one of our athletes, and we created the Cutler Nutrition brand. He has since taken that on 100% on his own. But we are, very much connected in the supplement world. We help each other out with a lot of different things and talk supplements every single day. Now, what we are going to do is every holder, I don't think I mentioned this earlier, every holder of MetaPump will receive various discounts depending on different times of the year to the Cutler Nutrition brand. to the Cutler apparel brand, and also to BPI Sports. And the thing with BPI, what we're going to do is probably something like a 40% discount off of our website for every holder, and that's going to be ongoing. That's not a one and done. If the token is in your web wallet, you log on to BPI Sports, you connect your wallet, and you will have discount whoever's holding the token. So that alone, that's the thing, the message that I really want to get out there. And I wish I could tell everyone in the Web3 world that if you mint this thing for $120, if you're a consumer of these products, you're going to make that up in month one. You're going to get your money back immediately. So it really is a no risk project.
Yeah, I mean, wow, say it louder for the people in the back. As a matter of fact, I literally just bought some protein. It's from a newer fitness influencer, if you will. I was telling Hofstra about it before the show. After shipping and everything, it cost me, I guess, $87 for 30 servings. That's it. $87 for 30 servings. To get 40% off BPI supplements just for being a holder. I mean, yeah, that's 100%. That makes perfect sense to me. That's beautiful.
Yep.
Really fired up about that. That's awesome.
That might be the best utility of all. I mean, the excitement of meeting Jay or any of the athletes is great. But if you're a consumer, like you said, if you're a consumer, protein and creatine have drastically increased in cost over the past year and a half. And you're spending, $70-$80 on a tub of protein now. So these discounts will definitely come in handy for all the holders.
Outstanding. Yeah, I'm fired up about that. So, last question for me. We saw that you have, like we mentioned earlier, you did your Women and Weapons pre. You just launched this with Method Man. Have to make sure we call that out. Your Killer Bee pre. I know you probably can't drop too much about this, but we saw this little phone call you've got going on with Waka Flocka. The people want to know, what is it going to take to get a Web3 DJ supplement up there on the BPI brand?
Hey, we can do it. We can do it. I do want to touch base on both of those really quick, though, if you don't mind.
Oh, my pleasure. Yes, sir.
So Method Man reached out. His team reached out about a year ago, and they have been amazing to work with. We have worked with obviously a lot of big fitness influencers, but when you kind of transition over to like mainstream celebrities, it's totally different than working with a fitness influencer. And we've had a lot of deals like this kind of fall apart. And I'm going to tell you, working with Method Man has been like such a pleasure. He is so cool. And me being, in my 40s, I was a massive fan of Wu-Tang and Method Man growing up. And it's been like an awesome experience to work with him. And I went live with him on Instagram a couple of weeks ago and had this great conversation about, his fitness journey and what he's doing. And it's really cool to hear, he's done, as far as like shape and how important the gym is to him. And this product is awesome, by the way. Products, and this is a fully transparent label. It's 350 grams of caffeine, so you're going to feel it immediately. It's got 5 grams of glycerol and 5 grams of citrulline and a gram of glycerol, so you're going to get a hell of a pump. So if you're into high stim pre-workouts, give this a try. This is an awesome product. And then to go to the Waka conversation. Waka and I have been friends for several years. We actually talked, I can't remember, 2 years ago maybe, about doing a CBD product, but it didn't really go in line with what we're doing with BPI. So that didn't pan out, but he is a very health conscious individual.
Really?
And is very, very, very particular about what he eats. I know that he was vegan for some time, and I don't think he is anymore, but he called me yesterday and said, hey, look, I'm tired of being out of shape. I want to get back. I want to lose 20, 30 pounds. I want to get back into the gym. I want to tighten up my diet. Let's document all of this. He was like, hey, let's do a Netflix special, Hulu special. and I want you to do all of this with me. I said, yeah, I'm game. Let's do it. So that's what that phone call was about. So exciting stuff coming here in the near future with Walk. And he's an awesome guy too. He's a lot of fun. He's an
Yeah, he saw what Method Man. He saw how big and jacked Method Man looks right now, and he got jealous. He's
Yes.
like, that dude can't get more ripped than me.
Yes.
The marketing's working.
Yeah, we do have to ask you though, is it true that everywhere Waka Flocka goes, he yells Brick Squad Monopoly?
Everywhere.
Nice, very nice. Yeah. So yeah, that's great. It's really awesome to see the big things that you're doing. I'm actually really excited. I think that Waka Flocka kind of show or documentary, however it shapes up, is something that people can really resonate with.
Yes.
Generally we put, whether it's the people we see on Instagram, the people that we see on TV, listen to, whatever it looks like, we kind of put them on this pedestal and never think that, like, yeah, they're struggling just like I am. I think that's going to be really huge. Definitely a really interesting thing. And I'm going to make sure I take note of that. But before we go, Whitney, is there anything that we should have asked you about that we did not ask you about? Like anything about MetaPumps, BPI, your Web3 journey, anything like that?
Man, I don't think so. I think we really covered everything. I mean, we went over all of the great utility that MetaPump is going to provide to fitness enthusiasts specifically, but also if you are just an investor of NFTs, there are opportunities there. And I don't like to talk about that a lot because I don't want this to be just a flip. I want people to join this and to be in it, for the long haul. But we went over all the new launches with BPI there between BPI, Cutler, and MetaPump, and yeah, I think that's it. I think we covered everything.
Very nice.
Awesome. Okay, I got one last question before we wrap. Are you going to go to VCon 2?
Have they announced where it's going to be?
No, I'm just asking. Oh. So when it comes out, are you going to be there?
Yes, I will be there. Even if it's international, I'm going to be there. You?
Oh, yeah, that's how we met originally. You meet these people on it's funny, on NFTs or the Twitter in general. You talk to people for 6 months. You get to know them pretty regular. You're in spaces. You're in projects together, and then all of a sudden you meet somebody, and you're like, "Holy shit, you're real!" And that's kind of how it was. We were walking.
How cool is that, man? And that we get to connect online the way we do, and then run into each other at an event like that, and then build a friendship off of it. I mean, that's what Web3 is going to be all about.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yes, hey, well, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much. I know you had a busy Sunday. I can see your son's back there saying, "Dad, we need to go swimming." It's
yes.
Time, huh?
No.
Yeah. Again,
tell you he dipped into the pre-workout.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Just like Hofstra said, echo that sentiment. Really appreciate you coming on. I mentioned it on the show and mentioned to you beforehand. This is a project that I'm personally excited about because, again, health is wealth, right? I kind of said it to Hofstra. I've been involved with other communities, and like really what they're promoting is like poor lifestyles. I mean, it is fun. It's still like guys hanging out and that sort of thing, but it's like either staring at my phone for too long or, some of the things that they want to engage in.
Smoking weed all day.
Yeah, exactly. They make me feel like it's okay to do those sorts of things. And
not my scene.
For some people it is. But for me, I want to become the best version of myself. And so to be in this community, it has already on days where I didn't feel like getting up and going and exercising. I saw somebody post something or I got the Discord notification. I was like, dude, what am I doing? Let me go get after it because these guys aren't stopping, right?
That's right.
So,
awesome.
Yes, sir. So really appreciate that. Otherwise, Whitney, we have the links to all of your stuff in our description. If you want to go ahead and tell people where they can find you, that'll be great. Before we do that, we got to let everybody know that if you enjoy this type of content, the number one thing that you can do is tell a friend about it. Number two thing is go ahead and subscribe to all the links that we're going to have in the description. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and tell a friend about us. Whitney, if you want to let everybody know where they can find you.
Yeah. So obviously Twitter, MetaPumpNFT, Instagram, I rarely ever use for MetaPump, but if you look up Whitney Reid 33_fit, that's my Instagram. I do post on there regularly, and then hop in our Discord. So I would love to Discord and of all of this free information we're giving out.
Yeah, you might as well do it.
Awesome.
For sure. Go ahead, Hofstra.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was great catching up with you. Wish you all the success. Well, I'll be waiting for the mint date, and I'll try to get in on that. I already got my girlfriend into it too, so
Awesome. I love it. I appreciate
three people right here.
Awesome. I appreciate it, guys. You guys are great.
Yes, sir. Great to meet you, Whitney.
All
Y'all
right,
have a
take care.
great,
Have a good one.
day.
Later, dude.
Thank you. Enjoy your trip, Osho.